You're here for a deep dive, and today we're really digging into Grant Cardone's book, If You're Not First, You're Last. It's all about sales strategies to, well, dominate your market.
Yeah, beat the competition. And our mission today, really, is to pull out those key strategies, the ones that help you thrive, especially, when the economy gets a bit shaky.
Right. We want to give you those actionable insights quickly without you having to read the whole thing cover to cover.
And this book, it doesn't hold back. It's a pretty direct approach to becoming number one in your space.
Definitely. And it hits you right from the start with this core idea. In business, first place is really the only place that matters for like long-term success, especially weathering economic storms.
He has that quote, doesn't he? Something like, in the real world, not everyone gets a prize just for showing up.
Yeah, exactly that. You either win or you lose. If you're in business during a down economy, winning means one thing: being first. It's stark.
It really is. A wake-up call. Being dominant isn't just about bragging rights. It's about survival, about your future.
And the book promises to give you the tools, right? Practical stuff to boost sales, increase margins.
And find new opportunities, no matter what the economy's doing. It's about taking control, not just reacting.
Okay, so let's get into the main points. He starts by looking at how people typically react when the economy tightens up. Four main responses he identifies. First up, the cheerleader.
Ah, yes, the
Yeah.
cheerleader. This is basically the denial response, right? Pretending everything's fine, refusing to participate in the downturn.
Right. And Cardone, interestingly, he sees a tiny bit of value there, mostly just in the refusal to be negative, not getting bogged down.
Yeah, avoiding the doom and gloom. But then you've got the old school folks.
So once you say, let's just get back to basics.
Exactly. And this is where Cardone pushes back quite hard. He uses the car industry as an example.
Like when sales dropped massively from maybe 16 million units down to 9 million.
Precisely. And he argues, just going back to the old advertising playbook or relying on banks that are certainly pulling back on financing,
Yeah.
that's not enough.
The basics might not cut it anymore.
Right, because what even are the basics? Selling encyclopedias door-to-door in the 70s during an oil crisis, that's a different world than selling, say, hot tech gadgets in the 2000s.
Totally different landscape. He even mentions his own start, right? Building his first company literally door to door during a bad recession.
Yeah, highlighting that sometimes basic needs to be, well, pretty intense and direct. He argues you need unreasonable actions in tough times.
Unreasonable actions. So just getting back to where you were isn't the goal.
Not if you want to dominate. It's about pushing forward, not just recovering lost ground.
Okay, then there's the third response, the quitter.
Yeah, this is the group that just sort of gives up. Thinks nothing can be done, just got to wait it out.
And Cardone's view on that is not positive.
Not at all. He sees it as a path to getting crushed, financially and emotionally. Because these downturns, they can last, right? 18 months, maybe longer.
And if you check out for that long,
It's incredibly hard to get back in. Resources deplete, momentum is gone. He calls them scavengers, just picking up scraps, the easy stuff.
they can't dig for gold, as he puts it. It really highlights his focus on being proactive.
Which brings us neatly to the fourth response, the one he obviously favors, the advance and conquer response.
This is flipping the script, seeing the slowdown not as a threat, but as
Opportunity, exactly. A chance to gain clients while others are scared, boost sales, really stand out.
take market share when competitors are pulling back.
He says, those willing to learn new skills, master them, and then go at it with massive action, they're the ones that get rewarded big time.
Taking control while others are basically conceding.
Yeah. So for you listening, it's maybe worth thinking, which of these sounds familiar? Which one resonates, maybe from your own experience or what you see around you?
Good point. It really sets up the strategies he talks about next, like power-based reactivation. What's that all about?
Okay, so your power base, that's your network. Everyone you already know. Friends, family, old colleagues, even just acquaintances.
People you have some connection with. And the book argues this is a hugely underused asset.
Totally. And why is it so key in slow times?
Well, mostly it's cost-effective, right?
Yeah.
Much cheaper and more personal than big, broad advertising campaigns that might not hit the right people.
You've already got some level of trust, some familiarity there.
Exactly. So the actionable steps. What does he say to do?
First, just make a list. Simple as that. Start writing down names. Then, the key part, reach out.
But not with a hard sell initially. That's important.
Crucial. It's about reconnecting. Showing genuine interest in them. How are they doing? What's new in their career with their family?
People respond to that genuine interest.
They really do. And for communication, he has preferences there too.
Yeah, he pushes for phone calls or even better, face-to-face visits if you can. Way more impact than just an email or, snail mail for that first contact.
You get that personal connection first, follow up later with email or whatever.
Right. The initial goal is just catch up. Let them know what you're up to, but gently. No pressure.
And there's some don'ts as well.
Yeah.
Things to avoid.
Yes. First, don't get stuck trying to perfectly organize or qualify the list before you start calling. Just start.
Get the momentum going.
Exactly. And second, don't judge the outcome of the contact too early. You don't know who they know or if their own situation might change.
Good point. So the main aim is just reconnect, get back on their radar, get people thinking about you again.
Pretty much. Make sure you're not forgotten when times are tough. The more people aware of you and what you do, the better your chances.
So make the list, make the calls. Simple but powerful.
Okay, moving on from the general network. He then focuses specifically on past client reactivation.
Right. The people have already bought from you. Why this specific focus there?
Well, think about it. They've already shown they see value in what you offer. You've already built some kind of relationship.
It's easier generally to sell again to someone who's already a customer than find a totally new one.
Way more efficient. So the strategy is stay in touch, maybe even more often when things are uncertain economically.
Keep that connection warm. And he says, don't worry if you haven't been in touch for a while.
Yeah, don't let awkwardness stop you. He kind of jokes that they've probably forgotten about you anyway, which is exactly the problem you need to fix.
Good point. Stay top of mind. That's the goal.
And be creative, right? It's not just about selling the same thing again.
No. Maybe revisit an old proposal, offer different terms, explore something else that fits their current situation.
The idea is just to get the conversation started again. Gauge their interest, open the door.
And follow-up is still key here, just like with the power base.
Absolutely vital. Call, then maybe send a letter, then try for a visit. Use technology, CRM, email, social sure, but don't forget that personal touch.
Face-to-face still matters.
Hugely. And he adds that sort of unreasonable tactic here, too.
The referral request.
Yeah. Add it to every call with a past client. Just ask, hey, who do you know who might need something like this?
What's the harm in asking? Right. Taps into their network, too.
Exactly. Which leads nicely into his next big point, the most effective way to advance and conquer, which he says is personal contact.
Going out and seeing people. The method people often fear the most.
Right. But he argues it's the most powerful, the fastest way to stand out, especially when everyone else is cutting back on marketing or hiding behind emails.
It offsets that pullback, makes you visible.
He even uses that analogy comparing sales calls to his wife being an actress going on auditions.
Yeah, saying he goes on auditions, sales calls he wasn't even invited to. That kind of drive.
And he tackles the fear head on. That reluctance to just go see someone.
Using that simple logic.
Yeah.
The money you need. It's not in your office.
It's out there with people. You have to go get it.
And he lists those things that probably won't happen when you make a personal visit to kind of ease the fear.
Yeah, like you probably won't be interrupted immediately. You won't get hung up on instantly because you're there.
You won't be put on hold forever. And your competitor likely won't be sitting there waiting too.
Right. It's trying to dismantle those anxieties that stop people from doing it.
So the message is clear. Just do it. Identify someone you could visit today and go.
Take that immediate action. Overcome the inertia.
Okay, so we've talked about networks, past clients, personal visits.
Yeah.
What about the ones who got away? The unsold.
Ah, yes. This is a big one. These are all the people you worked with, maybe pitched, spent time on, but didn't close the deal.
A potentially huge pool of leads just sitting there.
Exactly. And his point is, they're unsold simply because a transaction didn't happen yet. Their situation could have changed. Needs change. Timing changes.
So a no back then doesn't mean no forever.
Right. Everyone eventually buys something from someone. It just wasn't you then. Doesn't mean it can't be you now. Persistence is key here.
He tells that story, doesn't he? About the prospect in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah, the 10-year follow-up, calling twice a year, every year, for a decade. Never got the business.
Until finally he did. And it was a massive contract.
Shows incredible persistence. He quotes Vince Lombardi, "Winners never quit, and quitters never win." It really hammers home the follow-up point.
So practically speaking, how do you convert these unsold?
Go back through your records. Find those old leads. Get their current contact info. Then reach out again.
The goal being?
Just to get them interested enough to maybe receive some new info, some literature. Reopen the door, basically.
And the follow-up needs to be creative, not just hammering them.
Definitely not. Find different ways to stay in touch. Calls, mail, emails, visits, even just bumping into them strategically. Keep yourself relevant to them.
And what about feeling like you're wasting time or being annoying?
He reframes it. Follow-up isn't wasting time, it's an investment. He even mentions a client who said they only do business with people who follow up consistently.
Because it shows belief, commitment.
Exactly. It shows you value their business and believe in your product. He also uses that renegotiation story.
Right, adding $12 million to a deal that was supposedly done.
Yeah. To show the power of pushing through uncomfortable moments, you build that muscle on smaller follow-ups, so you're ready for the big ones.
It all ties together. Persistence, follow-up, overcoming discomfort.
And finally, related to all this is the attitude. Act hungry.
Okay, what does he mean by that? Not literally hungry, presumably.
No. It means actively, visibly showing customers you want their business. No playing it cool, no arrogance.
He pushes back against fake it till you make it here.
Yeah, he flips it. Act hungry to make sure you don't end up hungry. People appreciate effort. They appreciate feeling valued.
Especially in tough times. Arrogance is a huge turnoff then.
Absolutely. And he addresses the fear some might have, of seeming weak or desperate if they act too eager.
What's his take?
He says the biggest mistake is not acting hungry. Let your competitors be the ones acting indifferent. You need to make it clear you value every single opportunity.
So it's about ambition, drive, showing you're serious.
Totally. Treat every transaction like your livelihood depends on it. Because, well, ultimately it does. If you have to tell someone you want their business.
Oh, you're probably not showing it enough through your actions.
Exactly. So, wrapping this all up, the big takeaway from Cardone seems pretty clear.
Yeah, it's all about action. Proactive, persistent, sometimes unreasonable action. That's how you dominate, regardless of the economy.
It boils down to building and nurturing relationships, especially through that personal contact, and always maintaining that hungry attitude.
These aren't passive strategies. They take real effort. But he argues that's the shortcut to actually thriving, not just surviving.
So maybe something for you listening to think about. What's one, maybe slightly unreasonable action you could take today? Something to show that hunger, reconnect with someone.
What could that unlock? And of course, if this has piqued your interest, the book itself, if you're not first, you're last, goes way deeper.
Definitely. We've just scratched the surface here, but hopefully it's given you some valuable things to consider.
Some actionable food for thought, for sure.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We look forward to our next exploration together.